All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have a couple of reports. We've got a couple of rumors regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers after they picked up Patrick Queen, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Dante Jackson, a bunch of beautiful pieces on both sides of the football. This Pittsburgh Steelers team is going to look completely different next season, and I mean that in more of a they're going to be good. And they're going to be good like they always have been defensively, but they're going to be very good offensively as well, folks. We saw an NFL executive say this earlier today. Russell Wilson could be cut by the Steelers if outperformed by Justin Fields. And then about a day ago, we saw that the Pittsburgh Steelers are making some calls for all-pro wide receiver, or all-pro second-team wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk. Either way, no matter if they were to trade for Ayuk or what, or L'Jarius Sneed or what have you, the Pittsburgh Steelers are not done. They're not done in free agency. The draft's a little over a month away. The Pittsburgh Steelers next season, folks, watch out. Watch out, man. I'm telling you to watch the F out, and my Steelers fans know this. You are in a win-win position. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are your two quarterbacks on the roster for this upcoming season. Now, you got Russell Wilson for a bag of stale chips. He's on a veteran minimum. And you got Justin Fields for some way, somehow, an even staler bag of chips, a sixth-round pick. And let's just say, for hypothetical reasons, Russell Wilson does end up getting cut. He does end up getting beat by Justin Fields for QB1. And Justin Fields plays over 51% of the snaps. Well, you still gave up a fourth-round pick for a great playmaking quarterback to pair up with Arthur Smith. Before we get any further into tonight's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Steelers fans, love you guys. As always, you're seriously blessed in my channel right now, especially if we could try and get this video to 250 likes. That would mean the absolute world to me. If Justin Fields is QB1 week 1, I might have to buy me a Fields Steelers jersey. I just want to throw that out there. If this video gets 1,000 likes, I'll buy a Justin Fields Steelers jersey regardless. But guys, we heard Mike Tomlin, we heard the con artist himself, we heard all of these guys within the Pittsburgh Steelers say that they want competition in the QB room. And I think a lot of people were thinking it was going to be Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph competing for the quarterback spot for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Competition brings out the best in everybody, and I really like Russell Wilson's fit on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I love Justin Fields' fit on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I feel like he always, I'm Chicagoland, born and raised here. I am a Packers fan, but I do always think any QB who goes to the Chicago Bears typically gets the short end of the stick. I never really thought like Luke Getsy was Justin Fields' ideal quarterback. Just in theory here, the potential 2024 Steelers offense could include Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, George Pickens, Brandon Ayuk, Kelvin Austin, Pat Freiermuth, and offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. I do just want to say real quick, finishing up on the Justin Fields, Russell Wilson debate, I think it'll be Russ. I would be even more loving it if it was Justin Fields, if he did in fact beat him out in camp. But I do just want to say, even if they trade for Brandon Ayuk, which we'll talk about in just a second here, I still think Tyler Boyd will end up a Pittsburgh Steeler. Could you imagine whoever the quarterback is paired up with Jalen Warren, Najee Harris, George Pickens, Brandon Ayuk, Kelvin Austin, Pat Freiermuth, and Tyler Boyd? That is one of the best offenses in the National Football League. If the quarterback can even be better than Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph last season, and they still went 10-7. Like, Patrick Queen addition was huge. Dante Jackson addition was huge. And now that we've had a couple of days to dissect it, the Deontay Johnson trade does make a bunch of sense, especially long-term. And if they were to actually acquire Brandon Ayuk, who's coming off a career season, by the way, he's only been in the league for 4 years. And the reason Brandon's in trade talks right now all across the league is because San Francisco's got some dogs, and they just lost in the Super Bowl, and unfortunately that money's getting tight, and that money's going to be super tight if they don't make some moves. And if you're a Niners fan, if you're a Niners management guy, you're going to prefer Deebo Samuel over Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk in general is one of the more underrated, under-respected, disrespected, undercovered wide receivers in the National Football League. Last season, 75 catches for over 1,300 yards and 7 touchdowns. He averaged about 85 receiving yards per game. He averaged about 18 yards per reception. Could you just imagine? I know this is a hypothetical. I don't give a rat's ass of who's throwing the damn football. Could you imagine a wide receiver tandem of Brandon Ayuk and George Pickens? I mean, not only are you set up right now, you are set up for the future. And I know the quarterback's the most important position, but once again, I feel really good. Whether it's Russell Wilson with 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, or it's Justin Fields with 16 touchdowns, 9 picks, and just being, probably the second best rushing quarterback in the National Football League, and we're going to pair him up with Arthur Smith. I always thought, back when Arthur Smith was not fired and he was a member of the Atlanta Falcons as their head coach, I always thought Justin Fields to the Falcons with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, kind of reminiscent of Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. I know it's 2 or 4 completely different players, but you get what I'm hinting at here. I really like the thought and the idea of Justin Fields as the starting quarterback with the offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith. And then we're just going to sprinkle in the running back duo, Pickens, Freiermuth, Calvin Austin. But once again, man, Pittsburgh's not done. And, whether it's going to be Brandon Ayuk or Tyler Boyd, even if they don't address either, I'm not feeling great with George Pickens only as like the solidified wide receiver in the room. I think Calvin Austin has such a bright future, and I think Arthur Smith's going to really unlock what he has. So, even if they theoretically don't pick up Brandon Ayuk, if they don't pick up Tyler Boyd, if they don't pick up some type of veteran wide receiver, which I do think they will do, even if it's not one of those two, they're still going to address it in the draft. Folks, this is a loaded wide receiver draft class, and they're going to draft a wide receiver, in my opinion, even if they only pick up one of those 2 veterans. This Pittsburgh Steelers offense that was ranked 28th in the NFL last season, it's going to be very improved. It's going to be more effective. It's going to be more efficient. And that's just regardless of the QB, the offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, coming on in here. I think the point stands as this. Whether it was Matt Canada's fault, whether it was Kenny Pickett's fault, who really gives a damn, especially at this point? The wide receiver room with the loss, I should say, of Deontay Johnson, it does need to be bolstered. And at this point in time, it just kind of remains to be seen whether it's going to be Ayuk, whether it's going to be Tyler Boyd, whether it's going to be both and or one or the other, or it's going to be a wide receiver through the draft. I do need a more solidified wide receiver too. And that's what I expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to do in the next couple of days. So let me know your thoughts, especially on Brandon Ayuk coming on over to Pittsburgh. But that's it from me. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, and we will see you soon.